password. Actually, there are multiple profiles for the Chrome. I think my son it was going through my son's profile, and that doesn't have password. If you go through, I went through my profile, and it has. That's the one. Okay. Now we are streaming. Okay, we start with the Omkaras. So we will chant Narayana Suktam. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamasravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Sunmannuti Dasadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebirvajinivati Dhinama Vitriyavato Vagdevyai Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahasrashirusham Devam Vishvaksham Vishvashambhuvam Vishwan Narayanam Devam Aksharam Paramam Padam Vishvatah Paraman Nityam Vishwan Narayanagam Harim Vishvamevedam Purushastad Vishvamupajivati Patim Vishvasyatmeshwaragam Shashvatagam Shivamachyutam Narayanam Mahagneyam Vishvatmanam Parayanam Narayana Paro Jyotiratma Narayana Paraha Narayana Param Brahma Tattvam Narayana Paraha Narayana Paro Dhyata Dhyanam Narayana Paraha Yaccha Kinchit Jagat Sarvam Drushyate Shruyate Piva Antarbahishya Tat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Stitaha Anantamavyayam Kavigum Samudrentam Vishvashambhuvam Padmakosha Pratigashagam Hrudayan Chapyadomukam Adonishtyavitasyante Nabhyamuparitistati Jvalamala Kulam Bhati Vishwasyayatanam Mahat Santatagam Shilabhistulam Bhatyakosha Sannibham Tasyante Sushiragum Sokshman Tasmin Sarvam Pratishtitam Tasya Madhye Mahanagnir Vishvatir Vishvato Mukha Sugra Bhujvivajantishtannahara Kavihi Tirya Gordvamadashayi Rashmayastatya Santata Santapayati Svanteha Mapadatalamastakaha Tasya Madhye Vashnishika
अणियो ऊर्ध्वा व्यवस्थितः नीलतो यदमध्यस्था विद्युल्लेखे वभास्वरा नीवारशूकवत्तन्वी पीताभास्वत्यनोपमा तस्या शिखाया मध्ये परमात्मा व्यवस्थितः स ब्रह्म स शिवः स हरिश्चेन्द्र सोऽक्षरः परमस्वराट् ऋतगं सत्यं परब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।
So this is a lead and follow. Like I will say one line, just repeat after me. It's a simple, very simple song. So everyone can sing. And some of you already should be knowing this. Ajam nirvikalpam nirakaramekam. Ajam nirvikalpam nirakaramekam niranandamanandamadvaitapurnam niranandamadvaitapurnam param nirgunam nirvishesham niriham param nirgunam nirvishesham niriham parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema gunatitamanam chidanandarupam gunatitamanam chidanandarupam chidabhasakam sarvagam gnanagamyam chidabhasakam sarvagam gnanagamyam Munideyam-akasharupam paresham Munideyam-akasharupam paresham parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema jagatkaranam karanajnanarupam jagatkaranam karanajnanarupam suradim sukadim gunesham ganesham suradim sukadim gunesham ganesham jagatvyapinam vishwavandyam suresham jagatvyapinam vishwavandyam suresham parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema
परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम.
So this is next is Ramakrishna Charanam. I think everyone, you all know this, so we can all sing together. It's an easy one. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Krupa hi kevalam, Krupa hi kevalam, Krupa hi kevalam Sharanye. Krupa hi kevalam, Krupa hi kevalam, Krupa hi kevalam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Jai Jai Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham Sharanye. Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Jai Jai Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Namo Shri Gurave, Namo Shri Gurave, Namo Shri Gurave, Namo Namah. Namo Shri Gurave, Namo Shri Gurave, Namo Shri Gurave, Namo Namah. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Jai Jai Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna, Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna, 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 Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna, 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 Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. So we will sing. This is again, everyone can sing together. We all know this. Tava Katamrutam. Tava Katamrutam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Biriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Krishna Bhuvi Granantaye Bhurida Jana Tava Katamrutam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Biriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam
कृष्णा भुवि गृह्णन्तये भूरिधा जना.
Taking refuge in the holy feet of Sarada, Universal Mother, and Sri Ramakrishna, teacher of the world, my humble salutations to them forever and ever. Kalyananam abhikala nidhi, kapi karunya sima, nitya modha nigama vachasam, mauli mandhara mala, sampad divya madhu vijayanaha, sannidattam sadame, saisha devi sakala bhuvana prarthana kamadhenuhu. May Divine Mother, the infinite source of all auspicious things, the ultimate abode of compassion, one who is glorified in Vedanta, the divine consort of Sri Ramakrishna, and the unique benefactor of all the worlds, always manifest before me. My humble salutations and greetings to you all. Socrates says the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. This the famous statement by the Socrates, one of the great Western philosophers. So we have to accept that we don't know anything or we know nothing. So there lived a sage in a forest. He was a great enlightened person. He was meditating under a tree. 4 friends came to meet him. And they wanted to ask a question. And they were very inquisitive to know the answer for the question. So the question is, in this world, sometimes good actions happen. We don't know whether that is correct. Any action for that matter, whether correct or wrong, we don't know. Justice or injustice, whether it is correct or wrong. So all these questions happen whenever we see any action for that matter. So they ask this question: how to understand this, whether an action is correct or incorrect, right or wrong? Then the sage replied, it's very difficult to understand. It is not possible for anybody to ascertain this. Then they were insisting, no, Swami, sir, please, you have to, the answer, you are testing us, our inquisitiveness. So we really want to know that answer for this query. So kindly, please help us to understand. Then the sage said, all right, you have so much trust on me. I will help you to understand this. So he said, I'm going to take you all in a plane. And he said, I'm going to ask you a question. And if you answer wrong, then you will be pushed out of the plane. So this is the condition, disclaimer, conditions. Then, but if you answer right, you will be allowed to travel with me in the plane. Then the 4 were a bit hesitating, but since the sage has, given this drafting, sage is drafting this quest, they decided, okay, let us accompany with the sage. So the sage took a plane, the sage and these 4 took a plane, and they were flying on an Amazon forest, over an Amazon forest. The sage is now indicating these people to look at a scene happening down in the Amazon forest. He said, all of you please look at that happening in the Amazon forest. So everybody was seeing what is happening in the Amazon forest. So the scene is a tigress gave birth to cubs and it became hungry. So it went out to search for its prey and it was waiting in ambush. At the same time came a female deer. So we call it as dove, I think, in English. So dove, D-A-O. So the female deer also gave birth to some fawns, and it came at the same time to search for because it became hungry, so it wanted to have some fresh meadow to graze, so it came at the same time. Then you would know what will happen. Immediately, our tiger found on this dove or a female deer and killed it. And nice, juicy, fresh meat it collected and gave it to the cubs. The cubs were happy. It got a nice food to eat. Now, on the other side, the fawns are in a
hungry.
very sad situation. They lost their dear mother and they were totally in sorrow and missing their mother. So this is the incident happened in the Amazon forest. Our sage now tells, now he is saying that, he is asking the question to these four people. Now the question is, which is correct in this incident? Who is correct? Whether the tiger action is correct or incorrect. This is the question given to these four people. Immediately, one guy who was among the four, and when he said you have to answer one by one, not all together. Then immediately a guy raised and said, one first fellow said, see, what tiger did is absolutely correct. Because tiger was hungry. And then for tiger, the deer is the food or a prey. And then tiger always lives on by itself and attacks or kills its prey by its own strength. So I think the tiger is correct. Immediately the first fellow was pushed down from the plane. Then the second guy saw the first fellow's answer, then some changes he has to make. So the second guy answered this way. The second guy said, okay, let me change it. Tiger is incorrect. Why tiger is incorrect? Then he explained his reason. Because the death of this deer made these fawns orphaned and they are in sorrows. Then obviously, it is something not a right act by tigress. Then immediately the second fellow was also pushed down from the plane. Then the third guy, he was scratching his head and he doesn't know what to answer. But he said, okay, let me reconcile this. And he said, the tiger is tiger and deer both are correct. Because tiger came for its food, the deer came for its own food. And we have a cycle that, the deer is a food for the tiger. And, always we have someone's sorrowness will be happy for us. It makes us delight. Somebody is suffering, we are happy. If everybody is suffering, again, we are, and along with us, then we are extremely happy. If I alone suffer and somebody is happy, then we are not happy with that. So the tiger and deer both are correct in the situation. So it is a cycle. So one becomes prey for another. The third fellow also was pushed down from the plane. The fourth, there's only one guy left. So he didn't know what to say. Then, but he was very clear in his answer. He said, Swami, I don't know. Then he said, I don't know. Then he was not pushed down from the plane and he was continuing to travel with the monk. See, so the moral of the story is, see, many things happens around us. No savant can give any precise, perfect answer why certain things are happening, why certain things are not happening, why it is incorrect or not correct. Nobody can answer in this world. Nobody can give a perfect reason for this. So all we can do is not to get despair or get confused with various situations we face. We accept those things and then we proceed and progress further. That's all. If you start trying to probe for many reasons, we are not going to get answer at all. So that is why Socrates says this, we cannot know everything or we only know nothing. So here Sri Ramakrishna describes the various aspects of Brahman. So in scriptures, we have 4 degrees of Brahman. That is Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Antaryami, and Archa. The 4 degrees. Swamiji clearly says Brahman has various degrees, but not kind. Not that we have 5 Brahmans here. Only one Brahman. Only one Brahman is for sure. And or God, whatever we call that, that concept as. That is having various degrees. That is Para. Para means transcendental. Then Vyuha means Brahman creates this world as a creator, preserver, and destroyer. And then Vibhava means he takes incarnations to help us. And he teaches the reality and truth to us through his incarnations. Or we have various list of incarnations in the world. Then we have the 4th is Antaryami, that he dwells in each and everyone's heart as an immanent character, very close to us, and we cannot get rid of that Brahman. And the 4th is the 5th, the last one is Archa Vigraha. That is, Brahman comes in the form of an idol. Idol, we know all the various gods, gods in form of like photos, not just only these idols, even Islam people, they have the place Mecca. That is also a kind of a symbol. So he comes in various degrees. So last class we experienced how Sri Ramakrishna saw the vision of Kali and how Kali disclosed herself, revealed herself in various forms, and how Sri Ramakrishna attained the supreme Raga Bhakti of becoming a best instrument available for a Brahman to execute or conduct the Leela or the play of this world. Now here, Ramakrishna is going to teach us how to understand Brahman in its various degree and how to have Brahman as our object of meditation in all its aspects, in a complete aspects. So Ramakrishna makes a very, very important statement about Brahman. Again, Brahman can be God or concept or law, morality, ethical, whatever. You can keep that Brahman in a package of whatever you feel, whatever it fits in, but not something bad, something very auspicious and very pure concept. So Ramakrishna says Brahman is both transcendental and immanent, and both are real. He makes many times in his Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So this is a very peculiar and unique quality of Brahman, and none of us can have it. So let me just go into what is transcendental means. Transcendental means Brahman has a non-corporeal form. So we say aprakritam. Prakritam, aprakritam. Prakritam means material body. We all have material body. It will deteriorate. It will wane and it keeps changing all the time. So Brahman's form is infinite and it has aprakritam, is non-corporeal form. We can say nirguna or impersonal or a divine form. And the second feature of this transcendental aspect is he is against all imperfection. That is Eya Pratyanikam or Nirasta Nikila Dosha. See, it doesn't have the imperfection will not fall on Brahman. So that is the second aspect. And the third aspect is beyond time, space, and causation. So when we say beyond time, space, and causation means you cannot limit him. That Brahman is only in this place. Brahman is only in this time. And he is the cause of only this and is not the cause of that. The result of this and result of that. We cannot limit like that. This is the transcendental concept. So the Shruti says this. Tripad Vurdvabudait Purushaha Padosyeha Bhavat Punaha Tato Vishwang Vyakramate Shashanana Shane Abhi. So Purusha Suktam says this. So here the entire cosmic form of Brahman is narrated. He says that 3/4 of the cosmic form is a transcendental form. Then 1/4 form is where he pervades in this world as the inner soul of each and everything. So we exactly have this setup. Only in earth we have human beings. We do all this adhyayana, this kind of learning, all whatever the buildings we built, so many scientific innovations. We have NASA, we have Harvard University, only on earth. We don't have those things in Saturn or Jupiter. And it is all beyond. Only in earth we have all these happenings of all these the learning about Brahman and all this. So 1/4 is the place where we have these kinds of opportunities. So the immanent is only 1/4 and the 3/4 is transcendental. And universe doesn't have dimension. Earth is globe is circle. We don't have the dimension of the entire cosmic universe. Whether it is rectangle, square, or whether it is circle, we don't know. Don't know means we cannot measure that. Now the immanent aspect. What is immanent aspect? He pervades in all material and immaterial or living beings as their inner soul or antaryami. You can sit on the chair, so it'll be easy for you. I know he is quite tall. So and also Brahman is possessing the infinite qualities. So when he is very close to us, when dear to us, then definitely he should have all the infinite qualities to help us, be compassionate to us, and to hear our prayers. So he should have Ananta Kalyana Gunakaratva. So here the transcendental means Eya Pratyanikatvam, and that is he is against all the imperfections. And then immanent means he has got all the infinite auspicious qualities. It is always present in Brahman. So here I am going to take you to the little bit. I am going to deviate and go to a Brahma Sutra. This is not Brahma Sutra class. It is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Little deviation to Brahma Sutra. So we have an Adhikarana called Ubhayalinga Adhikaranam. In the third Adhyaya, of the second part. Third means adhyaya means section. Part is pada is part. So Ubhaya Linga Adhikarana means Brahman has dual characteristics. That is transcendental and immanent. So Brahma Sutra teaches that the Brahman has these two dual characteristics. The first sutra says this: Nastanatah api parasya ubayalinga sarvatrahi. It has got 14 sutras. I'm not going to go into all these details because then it will deviate to a pure Vedanta class. We are not going to go there. So I'll just take the gist of this this adhikarana. So the direct meaning is, not on account of place is there any imperfection of the highest. For everywhere it is described as having twofold characteristics. So Brahman, where all the time he possesses these two characteristics, that is transcendental and antaryami. So why we are discussing this is, see, he is very close to us, but none of our imperfection affects him. That is Brahman. Suppose this whole place is dirty. Sai Lakshmi Man, don't get offended. Suppose it is dirty and we all come here. Immediately the dirt will be on our body or on our dress, and we feel that, oh, I'm dirty. Though the individual Jivatma doesn't become dirty, that is also a spiritual monad. But that cognition that I'm having the dirt, I'm disturbed by this dirt, that knowledge is there by Jivatma. So this is called imperfection. And matter is continuously changing in its own nature. And Jivatma's jnanam, that is knowledge, is expanding and contraction and expansion happening in our knowledge. We say, I'm ignorant, I don't know, I have to learn this, I have to learn that. All these differences and imperfections doesn't affect Brahman, even though he's there here in every place, in every atom he is there, in its full Purnatva form. Purnatva means in a complete form he is there. But at the same time he is transcendental. So how this is happening? So if a person wants to understand this Brahman, then we need to know this peculiar character, special character of this Brahman. So Ramakrishna is telling all these things. Only if we know this, then person will be liberated or God realization can be fulfilled. So this adhikarana, this Ubhayalinga adhikarana, is a fantastic adhikarana which specifically says nature of Brahman, Swarupa of the Brahman. So this adhikarana promotes, this adhikarana means a particular, adhikarana exactly means special hearing. So attention to some special concept. So this adhikarana promotes craving interest in attaining Brahman by showing its wondrous-struck and surprising nature of Brahman. So it contains 14 sutras, as I said. So the concept here is place. So the place is, when it is dirty, we come here, we get that place is dirty, so the dirt comes on us. But for Brahman, it doesn't attach to Brahman. That is why we say he is a Heya Pratyanikam, he is against all imperfection. At the same time, he is immanent. So the Brahma Sutra gives two beautiful examples. Now before that, suppose if the place is dirty, and if we don't want to get stained by the dirt, so what do? We clean the place. We clean. No, that is okay. We clean it, okay. But again, you have to go near that to clean.
We don't go
Only way is to distance yourself. If someone is having COVID, we don't go near that person. The COVID has taught us, stay at home. Now, recently, the COVID has given that transcendental message to us. So we stay at home, and we don't go near that place. If in many places in the world, when one family has got COVID, the entire street was banned. Nobody was allowed. So distancing ourselves from that place, or we should have we vaccinate to immune ourselves against that. Either we should have our body should have the natural immunity, develop natural immunity, or we have to secure ourselves from distance. So the two options given there for this case. The same option is given to Brahman also in transcendental aspect. The Brahma Sutra gives us two beautiful examples. One is the ether in a pot, space in a pot. So when we break the pot, the space will not get hurt. So that the space is remoteness in time, and the nature of the space is such a way that any increase or decrease in the pot will not affect or the space nature. So that is the first example given for transcendental aspect of Brahman. The second example is reflection of a sun in a lake or a pond. Sun rays falls on the lake. That is why the reflection happens. If there is no rays, reflection cannot happen for anything. The rays has to be there. For any object to reflect on something, either we have an external light, or that object itself should emanate its light, rays. So even moon, all has a natural rays. So the sun reflects on this pond or river, wherever. The river is continuously moving, and there is all the time changes in the pond. This doesn't affect the sun. Why? Distance. It is far away from that changes. So the transcendental aspect is these two things. By nature, it has got, naturally the Brahman has got this immunity against all the imperfection, and also it is always distancing from those imperfection, and at the same time it is very close to us. This character only Brahman alone can have, nobody else can have. So that is why beautifully the Brahma Sutra gives this transcendental, the nature of Brahman is Ubhayalingam, is Antaryami, and at the same time is Para, is having all these 5 degrees, that is Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Antaryami and Archa, all the time with him. He is changing in degrees, but not in kind. So this is the, we have to understand this Brahman fully to complete our God realization process. So Ramakrishna is going to teach this through us, through his gurus. So Ramakrishna had 5 gurus. Maybe some may disagree with me, but when I read the Leela Prasangam, the divine play of Sri Ramakrishna, what I understood that he has 5 gurus. So one is Haladari, second is Jatadhari, the third is Totapuri, Bhairavi Brahmani, then Totapuri, and then he has an Islamic guru. So Sri Ramakrishna is going to teach us to, to teach us the complete understanding of Brahman through his gurus, not through his disciples. Usually here the teachings are imparted through disciples, but Ramakrishna is little tricky in that to teach us through his gurus, so that it is strongly understood by all of us. He's very, Ramakrishna is very intelligent person and very difficult to understand his view. So first, what he did, he first want to earn the trust, be a very eligible guru, eligible disciple for his guru. That he made himself. So he made himself trustworthy and obedient disciple for his gurus. So and then he thought only then his gurus will give audience, because these 5 gurus were extraordinary in their spiritual path. They attained almost very close to that God realization, but there was a little difference. I mean, some sort of thing, something is missing in that final touch. Something was missing. So that missing concept, Sri Ramakrishna built the bridge, fulfilled, made them to attain fulfillment in their completeness. So the first, let us go through the life of Haladari, whose name is Ram Tarak Chattopadhyaya, and let us see what is the matter in his case. So as we told that we all now know that Brahman is transcendental and immanent. We need to understand this concept. Only then we will understand the Brahman fully. Our friend Haladari, that is Ram Tarak Chattopadhyaya, he challenged Sri Ramakrishna, saying that God cannot be immanent, but only transcendent. So we have to accept both the dual characteristics of Brahman. If we don't do that, then we are not complete in understanding Brahman. So he accepted the transcendental part, but rejected the immanent part. Immanent part is being Antaryami and also in Archa Vigraha. Seeing Brahma, seeing God in various idols, photographs, symbols. So he doesn't believe that. So there is a story here. A devotee, a man, just a fellow, we would say a young guy, had a financial problem. He had a financial problem. And he was in need of some money, as that's the financial problem is. So he is a devotee of God, but he doesn't want to take help from God, his friends or devotees or anybody. So he thought, let me write direct letter to God. So he immediately bought a postcard, wrote his from address, then the message in the postcard: Dear Solomon, Majesty, revered God, I request you to arrange $100 and please send to me immediately, because I have certain financial needs. He wrote in the postcard. Now from address is there, message is there. What about to address? Where to post the card? Then he was thinking, maybe. He was thinking what address to write, where the God dwells. Then he said, okay. He thought, okay, this local postmaster of Portland knows all the addresses here in this Portland. He thought okay, the postmaster might know the address of the God too. So let me address the postcard to the postmaster. And then he wrote postmaster of Portland, post office next to Roman Catholic Church in downtown, and Portland, and he posted the card. The postmaster received the head post office postmaster, maybe he or she, we don't know. So he received let me say he. So he received the postcard and he read the message. And he was a very kind-hearted person. I thought, okay, he thought, okay, this fellow is in some financial distress, so we should help him. So he collected money from all his colleagues. So each one contributed $10 something. So 9 people contributed. So the total amount came as $90. Then he sent a money order. I don't know what whether
Money
in
order,
America
yeah, money order,
we have that facility. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he sent the money order $90 to this fellow. Then our guy received the $90. But he asked $100 from God. So he got only $90. Then immediately, then he got $90. Then immediately he took another postcard. Then he wrote again the same address, but the message is this: God, dear God, I'm very happy and very happy to receive $90. I asked $100, but I received only $90. Maybe this postmaster has taken this $10 as commission. So please, next time, don't send your money through this fellow. So he will take this commission. He's not giving me the full grace of yours. So this is the situation of the people who always think that God is only transcendental. He did not know that the postmaster's benevolence. So the people who think that God is somewhere else, he is only like Abhyaktam, who is beyond all these our phenomenal worlds. He is not down and close to us. This is the understanding. So our Haladari, who is an older cousin of Sri Ramakrishna, was appointed as a priest of the Radhakanta temple. We have even today in Dakshineshwar, Radha Krishna temple. He was appointed as a priest. And he used to watch the Ramakrishna doing the worship in Kali temple. So Ramakrishna was a priest in Kali temple, and his older cousin, was priest in the Radhakanta temple, which is situated in the same complex. So he used to go and see how this Ramakrishna is doing the puja. Ramakrishna has already seen Kali, and he used to I will tell you what his Aladari's mindset is. So he used to wait in one corner and watch him doing the puja. He was charmed by the overwhelming devotion Sri Ramakrishna had while he was doing Arati, while he was doing all the observances, the ritual rites. He was charmed, he was thrilled. And he was spellbound. He doesn't know how the time went by seeing his Ramakrishna's devotion. Aladari followed the path of knowledge, that is jnana, which is the neti philosophy. So they say not this, not this, not this. So this, and he had, and day and night he studied Upanishads, Adhyatma Ramayana, and similar books on Vedanta, and he used to teach to Sri Ramakrishna. And he would turn up his nose the moment we mention God with form. He did not like God with form. And Haladari believed that the God with form is full of deception and defects. That was his, he did not believe that the idol of Kali or Radhakanta.
But still he is doing puja.
He is doing the puja because he needs money. That is his profession. So he does that. So Sri Ramakrishna was challenged frequently by this Haladari and emphasized that the God in the form of Kali is all fake. And he was maddened, this Haladari was maddened by his pride. And sometimes he used to ridicule Sri Ramakrishna. All your visions, what you had, is just a figment of hallucination, and it's all disorder of brain. You become mad. It is not that real bhakti, madness in bhakti. It's all absolute disorder in brain. It's all hallucination. So don't believe all these things. And he also showed the scriptural proofs from Upanishads, commentaries, that God cannot be immanent. All whatever the Vigraha, avatars are all illusions. It's not real. That is, world is unreal, illusion, the world is illusion, avatars are illusion, all Jivatmas are illusion, everything is illusion. So he was having that kind of belief, and he one day questioned Sri Ramakrishna, how can you worship the Kali who is so tamasic form? Tamasic means inertia, inert. How can you actually worship such goddess? Ramakrishna couldn't bear that statement. He ran towards Kali temple, and front of Kali was weeping. Mother, is Kali? Are you an inert? Are you an embodiment of darkness? Please explain to me. Didn't you come real to me and showed your shining face? How come this fellow is saying all these things? Sri Ramakrishna was weeping like a child. Immediately, mother revealed herself again to Sri Ramakrishna. Said, my child, my son, I'm as real as transcendental. Immanent form, what you see as Kali, it's very real, because after seeing the vision of Kali, Sri Ramakrishna used to touch the nose of the idol and see whether the idol is breathing. He said, all these things are real. Don't get confused with all this. Then Ramakrishna became extremely delightful, happy, and confronted this Haladari. How dare you say my mother Kali as tamasic, inertia, embodiment of darkness? She is everything. She is Trigunatmika. She has got all the three gunas in her. She possesses all these. And she is embodiment of pure love and goodness. And he says, Sarva Mangala Mangalye, Sive Sarvartha Sadike, Saranye Trembake Gauri Narayani Namostute. She is the auspiciousness of all auspicious things. Shive, she is auspicious. Sarva Artha Sadike, who gives all needs of the aspirants, spiritual aspirants. She provides those needs. And then Sharanye, she is a refuge of all devotees. Gauri, the shining one, effulgent one, who removes the darkness of all of us like a sun, like 1,000 sun, maybe 100,000 suns, Koti Surya Prakash. And Narayani Namostute. Narayani means the abode of the entire world. Namostute, salutations. Then like this, our Aladari was very proud and an erudite scholar also. He was not an ordinary person. He was an erudite scholar. He has read all the Upanishads and things, and all the various scriptures, but his path was knowledge. Path of knowledge. He did not acknowledge the path of devotion. So the path of knowledge is uncompromising Advaita Vedanta. Then Sri Ramakrishna one day said to him, you are a hypocrite. You keep quoting from the scriptures, this world is illusion and we are all Brahman. Do you think that I will teach people like this? Do you think I will preach people like this and then start begetting children? You say the world is illusion, and then where is, then he's telling, why are you getting married? Why are you begetting children? You already told world is illusion. Then where is the place for you to enjoy those illusions? Doesn't exist. You are an hypocrite. You don't keep up your own belief. Fine on your scripture and understanding. Then in this way, but Haladari was very firm. He used to always, he's a cousin, so he took advantage of that relationship and he used to always discourage Sri Ramakrishna. So many times Sri Ramakrishna used to run to Kali and ask, Ma, please help me to understand this again and again. Then every time Kali appeared and said, be in Bhavamukha, be in Bhavamukha. Bhavamukha means Saranagata, Prapanna, who is always surrendering oneself to the faith. So the God's will is my will, and God's actions are my actions. And we must live in this world doing good to the humanity. And as a child to the mother, and as a child of the Divine Mother, so the mother provides all the needs for the child. So like that, the Divine Mother takes the responsibilities of all the needs of a sincere aspirant. So we have a famous Gita, Ananya Sinta Yanto Mam Ejana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam Yogatshemam Mahamyaham. Guaranteeing statement of Bhagavan. He gives guarantee. Those who are devoid of material desires and who are always devoted and absorbed in thought of Bhagavan, any spiritual, any deity who you like. Even if you like a concept that I don't like God, but I like certain concepts, morality, ethics, that's fine. But that should be an auspicious concept. And who always worship God completely with one-pointed devotion. Bhagavan says, I myself carry. This is the very important statement he makes. I myself carry their needs and preserve what they have. So we get worried in two instances. Once, when we don't have something, we crave to have. And the second is fear of losing what we already have. So both these needs are beautifully taken care by Bhagavan. Then later, Sri Ramakrishna's, when with the help of Sri Ramakrishna's guidance and his holy company, changed the outlook of Haladari. And Haladari accepted that God is God in the form of immanence, in the form of idol, in the form of Antaryami, that is, he is the soul of each and every atom, each and every living being, and also non-living being. That is why in our Hindu culture, we even pray and give respect to the non-living beings also as an embodiment of God. It's very much there in our culture and tradition. So he accepted the immanence of the Brahman, and that way his realization got fulfilled, that he accepted the transcendental and also immanent part. And then slowly he was removed from Dakshineshwar, because his play is over in Ramakrishna's divine play. So he was removed. How he was removed? Kali injected sickness in his body and removed him completely out of Sri Ramakrishna's way. Now Aladari is finished. Next comes Jatadhari. See, all the names are also like Aladari, Jatadhari. So Jatadhari, now he is reverse of him. He accepted the immanent part, but not the transcendental part. So he is a monk, belonged to a Ramite sect. And they were great, strong believers of the idol worshippers. Now they carried God in the form of Vigraha, Archa Vigraha. They were strong believers of the Archa Vigraha, means idol worship. But they don't accept that God as non-corporeal form. They don't accept that. They don't accept the transcendental, the para or vyuha. They accept vyuha, but not the para, which is transcendental form, a cosmic form. They don't go to that area. So Ramakrishna was initiated by Jatadhari into Rama mantra, because we know that Ramakrishna's family deity is Ramachandra. So we call that as Raghuvir. Raghuvir is the Ramachandra is the family deity of Sri Ramakrishna. So Ramakrishna obliged. He already saw God, but still he wanted to take initiation from such pure souls like Jatadhari. Jatadhari was a great aspirant. He attained the very highest stage in his spiritual path. And he initiated Sri Ramakrishna in Rama mantra. And he used to, have this Ram, baby Rama, we call this Ram Lala. Baby Rama. And he used to feed the Ram Lala like as though that, the real child is fed. See, certain things are, we don't feel it is better. How can you feed a idol? All these things we might logically or rationally it may not work. But we need to understand the concept here. The concept is, at the same time, Sri Ramakrishna was also in the Vatsalya Bhava. Vatsalya Bhava means a mood of motherhood mood. If anybody has another definition,
Yashoda and Krishna.
Add to that. Motherhood mood means who always has a motherly care towards all. And his mother always seeks welfare of everyone. Especially she starts from her child. But you imagine that you are a universal mother. Then you take care of each and every living being in this world. So Ramakrishna was in that state and he was practicing that. Our Jatadhari was also having this mother care, but his mother care was narrow,
limited.
So now the concept here is the limited mother care is going to expand into a universal mother care through Sri Ramakrishna. So our for a mother, her child is priority, and she stops there. If a neighbor child is hurted, she will not run. She will stop with her child. But the universal divine mother is not like that. She runs wherever whosoever is calling, she will run. So, and that is the speciality of Brahman. See, there is a beautiful definition of why goddess Meenakshi got that name Meenakshi. There is a goddess called Meenakshi in southern part of India. Her name is Meenakshi. In Sanskrit, we say Meena Lochani. So why that name is given to her? The fish, it is a fact. You might have observed in this Discovery Channel.
Never close its eyes.
No. That's one. The whale, the whale goes, the big, huge fish, whale goes. Then how do you think the whale comforts the baby whale? A mother, our human mother, when she wants to comfort the child, she has to go and lift the child, embrace the child, cuddle the child, kiss the child, she has to do so many physical actions. Right? All mothers know. But how does the big whale comforts the baby whale? You think that, see, even the monkey cuddles the baby monkey. Our tigers lick the cubs. It is using that some physical actions to lick and comfort the cubs. But how does the whale do that? The whale just comforts by the vision itself. The baby whale is comforted by the vision of the mother whale. By the baby whale will just look at the mother whale will look at the baby whale, and the baby whale will become happy. All its discomforts will disappear. So like that, Amba in Madurai, in Meenakshi, just by her vision, by her look, she will remove the discomfort of the devotees. She need not to make any attempt to go near or cuddle or comfort, or doesn't need to do any physical actions, strains. So by her vision, you can be very far off, maybe 1 mile or half a mile, but still you can see. That vision itself will take that devotees' discomforts or sorrows out of their life. And she gives the blessedness through her vision. That is why she is called as Meena Lochani or Meenakshi. So like that, here our mothers, our human mothers, normal human mothers, they just stop with their children. So like this, Jatadhari stopped his realization only with this Ramlala. His motherly care to just only in a very narrow way. But Sri Ramakrishna was practicing motherhood like the universal mother. There is no any discrimination stop. It was beyond the limitation. So Jatadhari, that is the concept of the Vatsalya Baba here, which Jatadhari practiced with this Ramlala. So Ramakrishna used to stand very obediently and see how this Jatadhari is feeding this Ramlala. And then after some time, Ramlala started to go along with this Sri Ramakrishna. Just to create that, that where this Jatadhari was lacking, that concept of universal motherhood. Because we need to because when we want to understand Brahman, we have to expand, keep expanding. There is no place for narrowness there. So he was narrowing down. He was a great aspirant, but he was narrow. That has to be expanded. So Ramlala was going with this, with our Sri Ramakrishna. Wherever he goes, this idol will travel with him. When he goes to take bath in Ganges, here, please don't think it is idol means how the idol will move. All these, it is a concept here, a concept of motherhood. So it will go with our Ramakrishna and take bath. One day Ramakrishna narrates to his disciples this incident, that one day Jatadhari carries some food to Ramakrishna, to this Ramlala to feed. And he found that the Ramlala was with Sri Ramakrishna, playing with Ramakrishna and talking with Ramakrishna. He felt that in spite of me showing so much devotion, this Ramlala is moving away from me. Then he left Ramlala with Sri Ramakrishna, and with the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, his narrowness got expanded. And Sri Ramakrishna said, see, listen, it is just not a narrowness. We need to expand the universal love. And motherhood, we need to care for everyone. It is just not one particular person. God is present everywhere. We need to extend this motherhood to all. And this way, he understood that God is in form of everyone, just not only in this Ram Lala idol form, but God is in the form of everyone, and he expanded his motherhood, and slowly he moved out of Dakshineshwar. So the Jatadhari's narrow love and welfare towards one particular idol got expanded into an universal care and welfare. So that is the lackness which he was having, and Sri Ramakrishna was able to fulfill or complete it. And then he happily left this Dakshineshwar, thank you. Dakshineshwar accepted the transcendental aspect of Brahma. So I will time
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So next is the Bhairavi Brahmani.
It's a big story.
It's a big story, so I'm just going to stay a little bit and then take it in the next episode. Now, Sri Ramakrishna taught Bhairavi Brahmani that God or Brahman, whatever we call, is dear to all, and he is the inner soul of all and controller of all. Bhairavi Brahmani was a great yogini. She was expert in Tantra. Tantric sadhana, she was expert. But what she felt is that God only belongs to me. I am the only person who is realized, and my disciples are the only pure people. And I control my disciples and their realizations. Because see, Brahman is very close to us and at the same time transcendental, and he has a third aspect of controlling everything. Niyantritva. That nobody can have. Biden may be a president of this United States, but he cannot control even a fall of leaf from the tree. He cannot do that. He cannot control a tornado. He can give relief. Aftermath, he can give all resources. He cannot stop the tornado. He cannot stop the cyclone. That he cannot do. Nobody can do that. That niyantritva, that is the controller thing. He is controlling this entire world. We prevented ourselves from this COVID, but we cannot stop the COVID. We might vaccinate ourselves, but you cannot eliminate the COVID completely from this world. That nobody can do. So that aspect, our Bhairavi Brahmani taught that since I am realized soul, I have become raised to the level of a great devotee, so I can control everything. And also I can believe, she did not believe that the grace of Brahman is equal to all. So, but she's a great achieved spiritual aspect. Because how can she become a guru of Sri Ramakrishna? Ramakrishna himself saw. So she landed in Dakshineshwar, and Ramakrishna saw her, that she is coming out of that boat and landed on the dock. Then immediately Sri Ramakrishna says to his nephew, Hriday was his nephew, and also his personal attendant. He said, hey, you bring that lady here. And Hriday said, he frowned. He said, what are you doing? What are you saying? She's a lady. Why should she be invited here? And what business she has got to do with us? She's a stranger. We don't know her. Then Ramakrishna, you should scold him. Because Ramakrishna is uncle. You say, hey, you idiot, you don't know. You just go there and tell my name and say that I'm calling, she will come. So Bhairavi Brahmini was wearing the ochre cloth, a great yogini, and Hriday went and called, and immediately she came and met Sri Ramakrishna. And she was a great Vaishnava Tantric sadhaka, aspirant of Vaishnava Tantra. And she had a tremendous yogic power. So Sri Ramakrishna was initiated in Tantric sadhana by her, and she did so many experiments with Sri Ramakrishna. That's a very big list. So I'm not going to go into that in detail, because it will then become like a Leela Prasanga class rather than gospel. And these are, gospel means I'm not gone into the gospel yet. This still the introduction classes going on. So Ramakrishna was made to practice 64 sadhanas, tantric sadhanas. Now we have, see, once the person is 61, once the person practices 64 sadhanas, he will get Ashta Siddhi. I will tell you what is Ashta Siddhi. But one has to sincerely practice it. In Mahabharatam, there is a beautiful incident. We all know Bhishma, the grandsire and the senior most member of the Kuru dynasty. Bhishma is a grandsire, and he is like a senior member of this Pandavas and Kauravas. He was born and blessed with his 64 tantric disciplines. Though he was the son of Ganga, Mata Ganga was gave this 64 disciplines inborn in him. So that made him to expand his life. He wants to hold his lifespan at his will. That means he can die only when he wishes to. So he was living for a long time. You know, he died in the Kurukshetra, that is in the war of Kurukshetra, and killed by his own grandson, Arjuna. Arjuna left how many arrows to make him fall on the earth? How many arrows he left? You know?
No, I don't know.
64 arrows. He left 64 arrows to puncture the 64 sadhanas, which is there in his body all the time. His tantric disciplines, 64 disciplines were all the time, it is there intact. So our Bhagavan knows everything. So he instructed, you have to give 64 arrows to make that fellow fall, because he was expert in Ashta Siddhi. Ashta Siddhi has got that 8 special unique qualities. I will tell you what are those. And 64 were intact. So you need to puncture that. Then only then that fellow will fall on earth. He did that. Then only then he was able to shake his Ashta Siddhi. So Ashta Siddhi is, we have 8. Siddhi means perfection, or kind of fulfillment of skills, we can say. Ashta Siddhi means 8 perfections. That is Animan, Mahiman, Lagiman, Gariman, Prapti, all weird words, na, Kathy? So Prapti, Prakamya, Ishitva, and Vashitva. So Animan means who is able to reduce the body into a size of an atom at his will. Nobody can do that. Then Mahiman means opposite of that, who can expand at his will. Then Lagiman means he can become weightless. Then Gariman means who can be heavy, like a mountain or a Himalayas. Then Prapti, he can access any place at any time. Then Prakamya, so whatever he realizes, the desires, it becomes fulfilled. Then Ishita is able to control. Isha means controlling. We cannot control ourselves. How to control others? Then Vashitva, controller of all material elements. You will raise up your head and say, I want rain. Will it rain? But these people who have achieved this Ashtasiddhi, they get this. And to achieve this Ashtasiddhi, one has to do the 64 spiritual tantric sadhanas. Our Bhishmacharya was intact of this 64 disciplines, which is there in his body all the time. So Bhagavan has to instruct this Arjuna to puncture that, to create, perforate and make a hole. Only then he was able to make Bhishma fall on the ground towards death. Even then, he died at his will, because Ashtasiddhi has got that power. Though he was become motionless and not able to do many things, but he died at his will. So with this, I conclude. Mangalam Desikom Kendraya Yaminam Chakravartine Parashakti Swarupine Devyai Matrecha Mangalam. May all be happy. May all be blissful. May all see what is auspicious. May no one suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace.
So we all can sing together. We are doing this already a lot of times. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam.
Ajiye Shubha Dina Miliye Bhakat Jana. Ajiye Shubha Dina Miliye Bhakat Jana. Gaho Gaho Rama Krishna Nam. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Rama Krishna Name, Rama Krishna Preme, Rama Krishna Name, Rama Krishna Preme, Matiya Uttak Dardham. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Harite Bhubar Prema Avatar, Harite Bhubar Prema Avatar, Prabhu Rama Krishna Gunadham. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Jai Rama Jai Krishna Vishwa Guru Rama Krishna. Jai Rama Jai Krishna Vishwa Guru Rama Krishna. Ekadare Shama Shiva Sham. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Gaho re Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swamiji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Durga Mai Ki
Cái